Begin this morning with a major milestone in the spread of the coronavirus. More than 1 million Americans have now been infected, and of that million, more than 58,000 have died. That's according to Johns Hopkins University. Now, to put that in perspective, the coronavirus has now claimed the lives of more Americans than the Vietnam War. And here locally, Oregon reported 7 new coronavirus deaths yesterday, and that is the highest single-day number since the pandemic began. 99 Oregonians have died in recent weeks, and this chart shows the steady increase over that time period. The state's first death was reported March 14th. Officials also confirmed 31 new cases yesterday, bringing the total number of Oregonians infected to nearly 2,400. In Washington, they reported 21 more deaths yesterday, bringing its total to 786. There are now close to 1,400 confirmed cases of the virus statewide. The University of Washington is now revising its estimate for the total number of U.S. deaths. Researchers are raising their forecast from 60,000 by August to nearly 73,000, and they say that's on the low end. The projection says the death toll could be as high as 120,000. The UW's model is one of the most often used by the Trump administration. Now, nursing homes, you may have heard, have been hit hard by coronavirus, which is especially cruel because it's where many of our aging parents and grandparents live. The latest example is a long-term care facility in Vancouver. They have had 26 confirmed cases and 7 deaths at Highgate Senior Living. As KGW's Kyle Aboshi reports, both residents and staff have been infected.
This long-term care facility in Vancouver has quickly become one of the largest known outbreaks of coronavirus in Clark County. 7 residents have died, including 5 in just the past week. The first confirmed case involved a staff member on April 5th. The virus quickly spread through the facility's memory care unit, infecting a total of 18 residents and 8 staff members.
Assisted living facilities like this are more like home environments where there's, where people spend time in close contact with each other. So, that presents additional challenges.
60 residents live at Highgate Senior Living in Vancouver, where a spokesperson said our hearts go out to all that are affected, even those who tested negative. It's been a really hard time. Local, state, and federal officials have been working with the facility. Every resident has been tested for coronavirus. No new residents have been admitted, and no visitors allowed inside. A review of inspection records found no major infractions related to infection control. But health officials say, like many other facilities, getting protective equipment has been difficult.
With this facility, I know that there's been a challenge in, for example, getting them enough gowns.
Clark County has reported a total of 21 deaths from coronavirus. Highgate Senior Living accounts for a third of them. Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.
Well, testing has been increasing. Oregon is now testing more than 2,300 people a day. Earlier this month, Governor Kate Brown outlined her plan for reopening Oregon's economy. She says expanding testing capacity is key. We also need to increase our supply of personal protective equipment, trace the contacts of people who become infected, and quarantine those who get sick. So how are more rural areas doing with testing? Well, we spoke with the public health administrator for Wasco, Gilliam, and Sherman counties, and she says while Wasco is doing well with testing,
in Gilliam and Sherman counties, things are a little more difficult. We've had some difficulty getting them enough tests. And so we'll be looking probably to be able to implement more point of care testing, like the rapid tests when those come out in those rural clinics.
She says all 3 counties might be able to open up in a month. The public health director for Malheur County tells us they could be ready to open up in 3 to 4 weeks. Well, despite Washington opening up state parks next Tuesday, Oregon is now extending its closure. The Parks Department says it will remain closed past the previous May 8th end date, but they have not set a new date for opening. So parks shut down at the end of March after crowds packed some of the most popular areas. Any camping or day use reservations, those have now been canceled through May 25th. That is Memorial Day weekend. A spokesman told the Oregonian state parks will not reopen all at once. Instead, decisions will be made on a case-by-case basis. And a reminder that elective surgeries and medical procedures can start happening again this Friday. Governor Kate Brown says she will require offices to have enough PPE for workers before they reopen, and hospitals must keep 20% of their beds open in the case of a virus surge. Well, those who are self-employed, along with gig workers and independent contractors, they can now get unemployment benefits in Oregon. Now, these workers typically don't pay into unemployment and aren't usually eligible. The benefits come from the Federal CARES Act. The same program will also make benefits available to people who can't work because they're sick or caring for a sick family member. Portland is looking to limit car traffic on some city streets to help with social distancing during the pandemic. And it plans to reconfigure 100 miles of roads around the city and close them off to cars, or at least reduce traffic if a full closure isn't possible. Now, they haven't named what streets will be altered, so there's no map to look at just yet, but they have started installing temporary barriers on city greenways right now. Those are the quiet residential streets frequently used for walking and biking, and they're already designed to be low traffic areas.
I just see this as a great opportunity for a public education campaign to just remind everyone these are slow neighborhood streets that are meant to be shared with different types of road users and shouldn't be used for through traffic.
So the goal is to create space so social distancing is easier for those walking and biking. The city says they will return to normal when restrictions ease up. However, they are planning more permanent changes to improve walking space where there are no actual sidewalks.